Okay, everyone, let's talk about named parameters, okay, and required parameters. Okay, we'll talk about the two of them in this video. And remember when I mentioned optional positional parameters, I told you the disadvantage of it. If you misplaced or if you didn't put them in the right order, in the right position when you're calling them, to be a problem. So now, how do you make your parameters? How do you make them named? How do you make them to be named parameter? So how do you do that? Let's use this second function here, okay, the sum. Let's use the second function. If I want to make this parameter, this function, if I want to make the parameters, if I want to make them named parameters, all I will have to do is that I'll wrap all of them inside a curly brace like this. But the thing is this, when you do this, okay, let me undo these things. Let me say something first so that you don't get confused because of the errors. When you put them in a curly braces like that, what it means is that just like you put the square parameters in square brackets, they make the square bracket or the curly brace, they make the parameter optional. Okay, they make them optional. Do you understand? So it means that whether you provide it or not, no problem. It makes them optional. That is why when I put this query braces like this, I was getting an error. Look at the error. It says the parameter first name can't have a value of null because of its type. Now remember, when we were changing this parameter, the title parameter, to an optional parameter, we had to put the question mark in front of it. But the thing here is this. This is, we'll have to change our code anyways, because here we're having another error. You cannot, the operator plus can't work on a null variable. So forget about that. Later you get to understand. So what I'm trying to do here is this. Let me comment out this code. Let me comment out this code. Okay. Now let me explain this function. Remember, we are talking about named parameters. So for you to make your parameters named, you have to put the curly braces. But if you put the curly braces, it will also make those parameters optional. So you said that you will put the question mark if you want it to be optional. Do you understand? Just like the brackets that we use for the optional title then. But the thing here is this. If you don't want it to be optional, what do you do? Okay, you will put a required in front of it. Then you will now have to remove the question mark. So if I remove the question mark and put it required, all right, I will not have any issue again. I hope I'm not confusing you. Let me come again. We are talking about making your parameters named, because in short, make sure that your parameters are named parameters. It's easier. When we call this function, you're going to see how easy it is. Okay, it's easier for the person who will call it, whether you're the person or another person. Okay, so look at it. I'm making the sum method. I'm making its parameters named. Okay, so I put in the curly braces around them, and once I put the curly braces around them, it now made them optional. So if I want to continue for it to be optional, I will have to put the question mark in front of the data type. But if I don't want to, in this case, I don't want it to be optional. I want it to be required. So I will put the required keyword in front before the return type of the parameter. Okay, so if I come here and I want to call sum, I'll do this results, say equal to sum. Okay, now if I open this, you can see the difference. It's not giving me the name. So look at the difference here. First name, first number is 3. Second number, look at the way I'm calling it now. So even if I swap it, it wouldn't matter. Okay, if I print this, I'm just going to get the results, right? I'll get the results. I want you to see the difference here. Okay, I can swap this now. I can say Now with this, now it's more readable. It's easier for me to understand. Oh, the first number is this. The second number is this. Okay. Imagine when we are calling the print name. Okay. We didn't have, it wasn't, we just used something like this. And oh, sorry about this. Sorry about that. Okay. We just use something like this. And it didn't make, you can see the difference here. When I'm calling the sum method, because the parameters are named, I now use their name. But here, they are positional. They are not named. They are positional. So if I swap first name and last name, I will get a different result, which will not be good for my program. These small things can cause big problem for you when you're writing your code. See, this is the reason why that is an amazing language. In JavaScript, you can't get something like this. And when you write your JavaScript code, it's very difficult because you'll be falling into traps or errors that are hard to debug. But here, make sure, for me, I make sure that my functions, I make them named functions. Because look at it now, the sum function is just easy. So I can just swap this. I can just call the second function, the second number as the first argument. And I'll do this. I will not have any issue. Even if I swap, it will not give me that issue that we had before. Okay, so that is it. Now, to drive this thing home, all right, I'm going to make this thing more practical. My first name, I will do Mr. here. I'll do my first name as Wohan, but my first name is supposed to be Paulson. Okay, then look at it. So if I run this program now, okay, if I run this program now, this is how it's going to be printed out. Paulson Mr. Wohan. But that's not what we wanted. But if I make these parameters, let me remove this age. Oh, but the thing is this, okay. I can still leave it this way, but let me make them name parameters. But I will have to remove this. If I want, I can put everything in curly braces like this. That means I will have to remove this. Then this is required. Remember, this is required and this is required. But the title is not required. The age is not required. Okay, you can see, but I gave them default values. But look at the errors we are not getting. Look at the errors. It's saying the name parameter first name is required but there is no corresponding argument. When I'm calling it right here, I didn't specify first name. I didn't specify last name. So it's a problem here. So, but here now, if I do first name, it will be more readable. I can just call. Now I can do last name first. And I'll say my last name is Wohan. Okay. And first name, Paulson. And there will be no problem. If I run this now, it will work well. Mr. Paulson Wohan. Instead of Mr. Wohan Paulson, or even the Mr. self will change. So you can see the difference. So to make this thing clearer, I will make the title required too. But once I make it required, it will not have a default value again. If you make it required, it will not have a default value. So it is also complaining here. So I can put this Mr. anywhere I want to. I can put the title anywhere, and it will give me the same result. If I print now, I'm going to get Mr. Paulson Wohan. Okay, see this difference? I can bring this Mr. anywhere. So you can swap and you will not get any issues. Okay, so I advise you, yes, it means that you're going to be writing more code, but it is better. Make your parameters required. Sorry, not required actually. Make them named parameters. Okay, you can now choose to make it required or optional. That will be up to you, maybe depending on your logic. But make sure that your parameters are named. It will be easier for you and other people who might also use your code tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much. I will see you in the next class.